Putting a superhero into a whole different perspective by putting a grandmother in power. Author of Introducing Cosmic Granny, A Score to Settle, is Dr. Edward Rice, joining me now via Zoom to chat all about his new children's book. Welcome, Doctor. So happy to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here to talk about Cosmic Granny.
Well, I love the idea of putting a grandma in power. She is the hero. My mom watches my little boys every day, so grandma is the hero at our house. Tell us a little bit about you. Over 20 years of education, of journalism.
Well, I started out as a writer. I studied journalism in undergrad at Howard University, and then did my master's work at Northwestern, and eventually was working in hip hop. So I worked for the Source magazine, wrote some for Vibe magazine, and then eventually, as the industry changed a little bit, I transitioned. You know, I always liked working with kids, and eventually that took me into education. So over the past almost like 20 years, I started teaching. So I taught fifth grade, third grade, and went all up to high school, and eventually made my way into college. And so now I teach journalism at the community college here in California at Moreno Valley College.
What a cool background. And teaching the little kids, you know what they like, you know what they'll gravitate to.
You know, I have a bit of a sense of that, right? Like, you know, writing was always, English was always my thing. And so I always could come up with very fun exercise for my kids to get into. And really, for me, it was always about letting their imaginations run wild, because when I was a kid, that's what I like to do. So when I was given the freedom to be creative and to just let my imagination soar, that's when it really worked for me. So I always tried to create those opportunities for my students when I had the chance.
Oh, they're lucky to have you. And you and me both. That imagination taking off, that is where the magic happens.
That's really where it does take place.
Tell me how old you were when you first started to get the idea for Cosmic Granny.
Well, it's funny. I think back, I did it. I think I was about 12, so around the sixth grade. And the class that I was in, one of the assignments, or one of the things I do remember that the teacher would always make us do is, with our spelling words, we would always have to incorporate them into like a story or an essay. It was a bit competitive, for me. So I always wanted to do really well. And so I wanted to do a story that made, me stand out, that I would get a good grade on. And so I came up with Cosmic Granny. I honestly have forgot about it. My late mother kept it. And then after she passed and we moved and stuff, my dad found it and was like, you should do something with this. And I was like, I don't know. And he was like, well, I'm gonna throw it away. And I was like, well, don't do that. Let me keep it. And so I kept it and I updated it. And, through a series of really, I'll say, fortunate events, it's come to life, and it's something that is just I'm completely excited about.
I think it's incredible. We're seeing some of the pictures, the illustrations, and yes. Granny has her arms full of the grandkids as she's flying through space. Tell us about the character and who she's based on.
Well, the character, I would say, it's a combination of obviously my mother, my grandmother, and other strong women that I knew. But as I was updating it, I really wanted to sort of center the grandmother and really make her a strong character. And I saw an opportunity to really reimagine the hero as we know it. I'm a huge comic book nerd fan, so love all the Marvel movies and DC. And one of the things I saw, like, there's an opportunity here, because you really don't see superheroes like her, or superheroes that are a little bit older. And, I think as we're aging, my 50s look different from my parents, and theirs look different from theirs. So I think there's really some opportunity here to really showcase grandmothers as a superhero. I mean, I think we all view our grandmothers as superheroes. So why not put her in a costume and let her fight crime? I mean, I think they'd be amazing at it. So I tried to incorporate that into the story.
I think you have something really special here, and I can't wait to get copies for my family. What's the main takeaway for kids as they read this?
I think there's a lot of different takeaways. This is going to be a series, so I have more stories to add to it. But really, it's about, one of the main things, friendship and conflict resolution, because there's a misunderstanding between her and one of her friends. And because of that misunderstanding, her once friend is now her arch nemesis, a villain, and and figuring out how to navigate some of those conflicts as they happen. I think friendship. I also think just caring and family, because she fights crime with her grandchildren, the Astro kids. So part of the story was really saving them and making sure that they could continue to fight crime and battle evil with her another day. So I think family is also definitely at the core of it.
I cannot wait to get my hands on a copy. Where do we do that?
So you can go to the website, is cosmicgranny.com, and you can purchase the book right there. The book is also, I'm happy to say, we're on barnesandnoble.com. So you can go to barnesandnoble.com, put Cosmic Granny in the search field, and the book should come right up. Also on social media, I'm on Facebook and Instagram. It's cosmic.granny on Instagram and Facebook. And yeah, you can.
I love it.
But I would say the website is probably the best place to pick it up.
You got it. Cosmicgranny.com. Doctor, it was such a pleasure to meet and chat with you today. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.